You know what's scarier than Halloween? The cost of boo baskets in 2025. We've got people dropping $400, $500, even $600 on themed baskets filled with skincare, candles, blankets, Stanley cups, all for Halloween. Halloween used to be about going trick-or-treating, about candy and costumes, and over the years I've noticed that a lot of people just don't partake in Halloween festivities anymore, which, you know what, totally fine if you don't want to do that. But now we're replacing that tradition with something that costs way more, and also replacing it with something that's so much less wholesome than kids coming up to your door in a costume asking trick-or-treat. It's about curated consumerism with a bow on top, and for some reason people are just fine with that. So the boo basket used to be part of a fun tradition called You've Been Booed, where people would secretly leave treats or decorations at your doorstep and then encourage those people to repay neighbors in kind. So boo them as well. And this was taking place like 20 plus years ago. So boo baskets today have originated from this trend, but they've become more elaborate and very much like a full-blown production. Like, this is content for people. We're talking matching pajamas, aesthetic packaging, luxury candles, expensive snacks, people taking us to the stores with them to put together these boo baskets, people saying, I'm putting together a $1,500 boo basket, because it's content. Every year they just keep getting bigger and more expensive. And every year people have to outdo themselves because people won't be interested in your boo basket if you don't make it super elaborate or out there. Somewhere along the way, instead of them being a cute little tradition, they become a financial commitment. The other thing is that most of these boo baskets are not filled with Halloween themed objects. Instead, they're filled with fall themed objects or winter themed objects like Uggs. They also have really expensive gifts in there, like a Lululemon belt bag, Stanley cups, gift cards, makeup products, lip products. The list goes on, and you almost think, like, who can honestly afford to spend this much money on somebody for Halloween when Christmas is literally 2 months away, and most people just got over from recovering from Christmas last year. It's this classic social media thing where nothing is allowed to stay small. Everything has to be luxurified.
Here's everything you should put in your boo basket this fall, a luxury edition. I 100% recognize that this is a very niche video. However, if this has come up on your feed, like, you know what this means. Your boo basket starts with a blanket, and you have to go with the classic Hermes blanket. I've had this for 2 years now. How many times have I used it? Maybe 5. It sits very cute on my couch, and it's only $1,800. Next, every boo basket comes with a pair of slippers. I'm loving these from Celine. They just look so nice and fluffy, and these are only $900. Because we love handbags here, we have to include a handbag in your boo basket. I would probably go towards something that's a little bit more fall, like the Andiamo in this beautiful fondant color. To mention, this is one of the most iconic color combos for the Andiamo. Your boo basket also has to have a candle. Always go for a luxury candle like the Boutique. Or if you want like a more personal touch, my best friend actually got this for me where we got like engaged. Thought this was the sweetest gift. I'll know the sun is setting earlier and earlier now, but that does not mean that it should dim your sparkle. I'll know you sparkle best with a tennis necklace. Actually just got this from Rowan. Of course, here's a more budget option from Park Gems. So my favorite earrings, so you might as well throw them in here. Do have a discount code for these with the code Celesta. I'm just saying, maybe you should also put this in the boo basket. Your boo basket also always has some kind of food or beverage. We're gonna include some of my favorite macarons. Pistachio is top tier.
Who honestly needs products this expensive in a boo basket? I don't care if it's luxury items. Why do items like this cost this much in the first place? That's outrageous. The blanket is $1,875. Keep in mind, this is all in USD. So for me as a Canadian, this is very expensive. The slippers, $890. I love how she said only $900. Yes, it's only $900 for a pair of slippers. Insane. The bag is $4,500. The candle is $40.57. Meanwhile, okay, so she said that her friend got this for her for an engagement gift. That makes sense to give someone a very special candle like this. For a boo basket, it doesn't make sense. It's not a special occasion. What location are you going to put on there? Like, a boo basket doesn't warrant gifts this expensive. Actually, I don't even think anything warrants gifts this expensive. This tennis necklace is $5,280. So that necklace that she was showing that was more budget friendly was around $500 USD. And then these earrings that she shows, I can't find the USD price just because I have to look on the website. She doesn't show the price in this video, but in Canadian dollars, it's $492. And then she puts in a ring that's $4,980. So I'm not even gonna try to calculate how much this boo basket is, but you can roughly assume that everything she's recommending to put in this basket is upwards of $10,000 USD or more. So I did end up doing the total cost of the the basket in editing, but the total cost of this basket with both necklaces included and the USD price for the earrings, which I did convert, was $18,416 USD, which calculates to $25,787 Canadian. I don't care how rich you are, that is absolutely ridiculous to be spending $10,000 or more on a boo basket for somebody. I'm actually baffled that there's things out there that cost this much money and that people are actually okay with spending. That's crazy. Meanwhile, there are people out there who are homeless. There are people out there who literally cannot afford their bills or groceries. Posting stuff like that, like luxury items, gift ideas, maybe you should do this, it just seems really out of touch for me. And while we are not her target audience, I just do not understand how people willingly just throw this money away for material items such as this. A Bottega bag. I didn't even know what Bottega was until I did a video about Pilates with Raven. No idea. It's all just like vanity items. Like a luxury bag, luxury jewelry, it's vanity. And the only reason people really get things like this is to show off how wealthy they are. You can get items that look like that or are very similar for much less, but because they're not name brand, they don't cost nearly as much. And sorry, I'm not paying $500 for a pair of slippers. Can you imagine? One of the things I want to point out is the dialogue that we see in a lot of these videos, whether it's verbal or if it's on the screen written out in the caption. Some of them say, this is your sign to do this, or if it's coming on your For You page, do it. This is your sign to make her a boo basket. Oh, I'm making my best friend a boo basket because her man wouldn't. And it's almost like this shame culture. Like if you're not making a boo basket, then you're a crap person. Like you shouldn't be in a relationship, you shouldn't be friends with anybody, because if you're not making them a boo basket, you suck as a person.
Let me show you how to make a spooky basket, because boys, it's really not that hard. And if your girlfriend hasn't told you she wants this yet, let me tell you right now, she wants this. First, you're going to need to start off with a basket. The bigger the basket, the more you love your girlfriend.
And if you're a parent, just absolutely forget it. Your kids will probably see all these videos online. Meanwhile, you should monitor what your kids watch, but if they're teenagers, they're gonna see stuff like this, okay? Everyone's posting this stuff. People their age are posting this stuff. They're probably gonna see these videos and ask like, where's mine? Why don't I get a boo basket? Not only do they feel inadequate on their end because they're not worth anything if they don't get a boo basket, but then you as a parent start to feel inadequate because you have this unspoken expectation for the most part on you because you're not aware that this is being broadcasted and promoted to your children online, that this is what everyone's doing. This is the normal.
I don't know what mom needs to hear this, but my toddler son is not getting a boo basket this year. And your child also doesn't need a boo basket. Like if that's something that you want to do, great. I personally think on social media, it's definitely had a big push on consumerism where it's like you think that every month your child needs some special activity or some special basket, or like you have to kind of keep up with that. Like I know your For You page is probably very similar to mine. Every creator is doing a boo basket right now for their kiddos, and that's great. That's such a fun thing. And if you are the type of mom that wants to do that, that's amazing. For me personally, like my son already has Halloween jammies that were given to him by a family friend. He already has Halloween board books from last year that I just pulled out of storage so that he could use them again, because this time of year, you know, he likes to have a spooky book. I already bought him a coloring book that is Halloween themed that he's been using for his art every single day. And so there's just really no reason for me to do a boo basket because he doesn't need any more treats. He doesn't need any more Halloween items. And I do feel like it is truly like when I really think about like, why am I doing this? It's not for him. It's because I want to keep up, right? It's like keeping up with the Joneses of like everyone else is making their kids boo baskets. But in reality, he doesn't need it. He's not going to know the difference. There's really no necessary reason to make a boo basket. So it's just not something that I'm going to do. And if you're the kind of mom who wants to do it, that is great. No hate on boo baskets, honestly. What a fun childhood memory, but for us, it's just one of those things that's really unnecessary and kind of just consumer driven.
Now, not even trick-or-treating, giving them buckets of candy is not good enough, but now there's this unexpected gift expectation already on top of a candy-filled holiday. It's the same story every single time. A trend starts out as fun, it goes viral, and then it becomes a requirement, and that's where I have an issue. Welcome to the spooky season of peer pressure. And you might be wondering, like, Susannah, why are you so obsessed with these boo baskets? Why are you just so angry that this is being promoted to people? And because it doesn't stop at the boo baskets, guys. Like if you've watched my videos before, I've touched on Christmas baskets, I've touched on Easter baskets, and they just keep creating baskets for these minor holidays to keep fueling the spending seasonal carousel. Because once fall hits, there's fall baskets, there's boo baskets, there's burr baskets, there's Christmas boxes, there's Valentine's Day baskets, Easter baskets, and then there's beach bags, which people are now filling beach bags of crap in. And every minor holiday or even just the seasons have turned into a major shopping event where people are just shoving consumerism down your throats. And the people I feel like who get hit by this the hardest are the significant others, but also the parents. For parents, there's already so much pressure to make Christmas or every holiday magical, especially if you didn't experience that in your childhood. And because kids see this all online, they now expect it as well, which is wild because the main tradition of Halloween is to go door to door and get candy. But this tradition has trickled out, and I think there's a variety of reasons why this may happen. Not only are kids just trying to be more mature, younger and younger every single year, like they're too cool to go trick-or-treating. Meanwhile, I was going trick-or-treating like till I was probably older than I should have. But there's also like safety reasons. The world is scary. People don't want to send their kids out trick-or-treating because you never know what could happen, especially on a spooky holiday like Halloween. People have found razors in their children's Halloween bags. It's just not safe anymore. So every single year, I've noticed that there's less and less kids coming to our doors or walking around the neighborhood. So maybe people are trying to overcompensate for the lack of tradition that people are just not partaking in and replacing the tradition with something way more expensive and more luxurious. What would be better than spending a bunch of money when Christmas is already coming is watching a Halloween movie with your children, baking Halloween treats, carving out a pumpkin, like doing something memorable instead of just buying their love, if that makes sense. Instead of buying things and putting it in a basket just because you feel there's an expectation for you to do so. Now, I'm not going to go on a whole algorithm rant here because we all know how this works, but basically the more outrageous the basket, the more likely it is to go viral. And that's what it all comes down to. When people film these boo baskets, they don't necessarily film them giving it to the person. They film them spending tons of money, putting it together aesthetically for not only just the reason of going viral, but if they're an Amazon influencer or someone who gets a lot of commission, then of course they're going to capitalize on this holiday because that's when they make their money. Every single holiday, they make more money. But I also feel like because this is how they make money, they've started creating more and more reasons to give someone a basket for the tiniest little holidays so then they can make more money. And people eat this up because we love material things. We all have this chemical in our brain called dopamine, which goes off every time we get something new. So seeing someone put together this really nice basket with things that you possibly want keeps you watching, keeps you sharing, keeps you partaking in the trend, even if you can't really necessarily afford it. And the reason why this content goes viral is not necessarily because of the TikTok algorithm. We are the TikTok algorithm, and we keep the trend alive by participating ourselves because we have the endless comparison, the fear of missing out, the idea that love or effort needs to be shown through stuff. I feel like we've really held on to that. Like buying people stuff is how you show love for somebody, because I do have to say the world has become inherently more selfish every single year. People don't want to talk to people anymore. Like back when I was a kid, you would pass someone on the street and spark up a conversation, saying hello, nodding, doing the awkward little smile when you walk by somebody. But as I've grown older, I've realized that that is just not happening anymore. You have neighbors that you don't even know, even though you live in a townhouse complex, because nobody wants to talk to anybody. Nobody wants to converse. Everybody is just in their own little secluded shells. And because we're all becoming more isolated, we tend to overcompensate for this lack of connection with buying stuff.
Let me show you how to make every girl's dream boo basket. First, you're gonna start off with a basket. This one's from HomeSense. Some sort of plush blanket, something cozy to wear, either a sweatsuit or pajamas, Uggs or a neutral sneaker, a water bottle, a perfume or body mist, a candle, some cozy socks, a fall mug, and their favorite lip product. Lastly, some sort of stuffed animal. Bonus points if it's a jelly cat.
Every girl's dream boo basket. You do realize that other people have different interests, right? Not everyone wants a pair of Uggs. Not everyone wants a Stanley Cup. Maybe there's girls that don't wear makeup, or maybe there's girls that are not into Uggs and generic, bland, clean girl aesthetic. And like I said before, like this is a boo basket, but no, really, it's just a fall basket because there's nothing Halloween themed in this basket at all. Someone in the comments was like, wait, what was the total price? I'm so curious. She comments around $600 Canadian for everything shown. Then someone said, pretty expensive. Society has made so many holidays where you have to get gifts now. It's too much. That's exactly it. Society has created so many holidays where people feel the need that they have to go above and beyond to show that they care about somebody. Like, I understand if your love language is giving. I love giving people things. Like, God has blessed me, I want to bless others. But having to do this every single season change or every single holiday is insane. And like this commenter said, too much. People can't keep up. Now, this next TikTok says, this is your sign to get your girl a boo basket from Coach. I already know it's going to be expensive. So this one is more Halloween themed. Like you have a pumpkin bag, you've got a pumpkin themed wallet, you've got a black purse. However, because it's from Coach, everything's from Coach, you have to understand that this is probably very expensive. Someone did the math in the comments and it's $462.54 USD. How much is that in Canadian? So in comparison to the other one that costs around 600 Canadian, this one costs $649 Canadian. But the difference between this basket and the last one is that the last one had a lot more items, whereas this one had 5. The bucket itself was $95. The Snap wallet is $69. The Trick or Treat bucket with Halloween pumpkin is $95. The gold perfume is $85. The horse and carriage dot print silk bandana is $58.80, and the purse is $119. How is the Trick or Treat bucket the second most expensive thing in this haul? And this price range is very much being the norm in all the boo baskets I've seen. I have a couple more that are around that price range. Like this one here is around $464. I'm assuming this is USD because that's what someone in the comments said. And someone was like, yikes, that's my car payment. Someone else said, I know she didn't buy it, I just can't prove it. Perhaps it was part of a brand deal. Perhaps she had gift cards. Who knows? This one that says PSA, she wants a boo basket, and in the caption says this is your sign to make her a boo basket. That one costs around $600 to make. And it's filled with generic stuff. Uggs, a brown sweater, more shoes, lip products, a mug, body care, road skincare, a teddy bear, fuzzy socks, like things that people would want. But I do have to say, when people are making these inspiration videos, I feel like they only stick to the most generic, bland stuff and call it inspiration. There are so many people who are into so many different things, and yet we all see the exact same stuff in these boo baskets. The only thing that's missing in this boo basket is a Stanley. Then we see people asking for a cheaper version of these boo baskets because someone's like, boyfriend here, make a cheaper version, please. And they do, they make a cheaper version, but it's still over $100 or so. And in my opinion, that's not cheap. That's not affordable. That's a large portion of someone's bill.
Let's make a mini boo basket. First, you're going to grab yourself a basket, line the inside with some wrapping paper, add in a candle. This is pumpkin caramel from the 6th Sense. 2 sheet masks that she will actually use, a cute pair of socks to keep her feet warm, the road glazing milk to keep her skin hydrated and glowy throughout the colder months, a road pocket blush so she can bring it whenever she wants to reapply.
Totally affordable, guys.
More aesthetic than getting a lighter, so if you're getting her a candle, make sure to get these.
Can I just say that I bought matches to use for my candle because of the aesthetic, right? They are the hardest things to use. I kept burning my fingers trying to light my candle. You know what I like? I like those little clicker lighters that have the long stem that you can just put in the candle and it'll light it. It doesn't have to be aesthetic to light a candle, guys.
A peanut, but she has an allergy. Get her one of these.
What?
Rhode Peptide Lip Tint because I know she wants one. This one is in shade Salty Tan. A mini Say Do blush in shade Chili. A pair of earrings, but make sure if she's not a gold girl, get her silver. And lastly, a cute little claw clip. And there you have it, a mini boo.
A mini boo basket. I'm pretty sure she already got a blush. She's recommending to give someone a Rhode pocket blush and then also telling them to get another blush. Why does she need 2 blushes in a boo basket? That's not affordable, guys. That's like way over $100. The Rhode glazing milk itself is $48 at Sephora. So yeah, way over $100. And the worst part, a lot of people can't even afford this stuff. Even if they make a cheaper version, the things that people are recommending to put in these boo baskets are expensive. And if someone sends you a boo basket idea and was like, get me this, if you don't get them what is in that boo basket, they're going to just be disappointed, so why bother? But people still try because they don't want to be left out, and then suddenly you spent like $150 at Target and you don't know why. And that's what these trends do. They create this illusion that everyone else is doing it and you're missing out on the fun, and it's FOMO disguised as festivity. At the end of the day, boo baskets themselves are not the villain here, but I do think that we need to stop commercializing and creating trends that just pressure people to spend money. I went on Reddit just because I wanted to see what people who aren't necessarily on TikTok thought of this boo basket trend and if they were partaking as well. Maybe I'm just becoming a crotchety old millennial. I normally love doing this kind of stuff, but this just feels excessive to me for some reason. There's already costumes, trick-or-treating, fall festivals, hay rides, pumpkin carving, corn mazes, state fair. Do we really need to add more? Absolutely no hate if you love doing this for your kids, because I know I'm definitely excessive in other areas. It just feels a bit much for me. Someone said, what the heck is a boo basket? Someone replied, like an Easter basket, but Halloween themed. It's just a basket stuffed with Halloween themed toys. That person responded, LL, not doing that. I shall celebrate the fall properly with my kids by making them join us in hand pressing cider so that they can be thankful they live in modern society. I read this in Dwight Schrute's voice and it made the comment even better. It would be so nice if some new trends emerge that emphasize hospitality, community, and experiences over staged photos of consumerism that earn meaningless likes on social media. So while boo baskets may seem like a fun idea, it's just unrealistic to keep up with it long term. Once you start doing it, it becomes expected every single year. And if you have multiple people in your family that you care about, that racks up. Imagine spending $600 on every single person you make a boo basket for. It's just unrealistic. Let me know what you guys think of the boo basket trend. Do you partake? If so, how do you keep it affordable? Let me know in the comments. God bless you all, and until next time.
Welcome to Plot Twist Please, where we sip, flip, and spill the tea on books and booze.
I'm Beth.
I'm Susannah.
And I'm Cass, your trio of book besties, bringing the drama, the hot takes, and a drink in hand every episode.
Whether it's fantasy, romance, or total chaos, if there's a wild plot twist, we're talking about it.
We'll laugh, we'll rant, and we'll probably spiral into a tangent about morally gray characters.
Grab your favorite drink, enchanted or otherwise, and come hang out with us every week.
Because let's be honest, sometimes the best part of a book is spilling the tea about it. Plot Twist Please, streaming now wherever you can get your podcasts.